Hey everybody, welcome back to the Reality Wind Down, a podcast where we break down all the latest Bravo TV drama and the biggest pop culture moments of the week, one glass of wine at a time. I'm Chase.
I'm Cassidy.
Girl, I am rolling off a plane. I'm in New York,
Yeah.
feeling good. I have
This is
me
in New
a
York. He's
drink.
back in New York.
I'm back. I'm feeling great. It's
Yeah.
so nice. The weather is way better because last week we were talking about how hot it was in Texas. It's a nice 75 degrees. I do have my shorts on. You know, I'm prepared.
That's cool. I'm still in the Houston heat and I just ran in 98-degree weather and I am sweating profusely still. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see how sweaty I am right now. That is not glistening. That is just sweat.
Well, it looks like you're listening. It looks like your skin is doing great. But you did right whenever she sat down on the Zoom. She was like, oh, by the way, I'm dying. I'm sweating. And I don't know how I'm going to function.
Red, and then I'm wearing red, so I feel like it makes it worse. But not about, okay, enough about me. Chase is in New York. Why are you in New York?
Well, I'm currently staying with our friend Meg, friend of the podcast. We hadn't been here, you know, we're finally vaccinated.
Yes.
COVID is doing great right now. Well, not COVID's not doing great.
Our girl COVID is doing great. No, we're doing great.
Okay, y'all know I can't speak, so y'all know what I mean by that. Everything's doing good. So we're here, and you know, it's also Gay Pride. I didn't know if y'all knew that or know that, but I'm gay, so I'm being prideful this weekend. I'm also wearing, honestly, very timely. I just got in Britney Spears shirt
ever,
and it's the rainbow flag, but with her most iconic outfits. It's like the best possession I own now.
Chase sent me a picture of him on the plane and he was like, I'm ready to record today. And I was like, oh my God, that shirt. Like, yes, ready to record, but that shirt is amazing.
You're like, but so I was like, this is the energy I'm coming in with, you know, free Britney energy, New York energy.
Now that you're talking about it, I mean, should we jump into hot takes? Should we start with the Britney stuff that's been going on?
Yes, just a quick disclaimer, as you know, and if you're watching on YouTube, we are not in our normal location. We are not in our personal clubhouse this week. So if there's any
clubhouse, why do we call it that?
I don't know, but we should.
Oh my God, that's what we're calling it from here on out. We're getting a little sign and everything. I'm gonna make it happen.
Personal clubhouse.
No, we're not in it today, so.
But we're not in it today. So if you hear anything weird, if you hear any fire trucks going by,
if you hear my dog bark,
you know, it is what it is. We couldn't not put an episode out this week because, you know, we always have too much to talk about. Yeah. So we are going forward with what we got. So,
and full disclosure, obviously, New York was not new this week. Real Houses of New York, so it'll be a little bit of a shorter episode. We've just got Beverly Hills, hot takes, and a game. So
there you go. So
jump into our hot takes.
As
Britney,
Cassidy mentioned, and my shirt is showing, Britney Spears is a hot topic of this week. And, you know, I will say in a good way because she is getting the chance to stand up for herself. She is speaking out, and she made sure that it was recorded and that we, you know, in the public can finally see the struggle she's been under for these past 13 years of her conservatorship. That is way too long, ridiculous, should not be in place anymore. And, you know, I think everyone already kind of was on the Free Britney movement. Like, you know, like I think people were already thinking things were fishy. Weird things were going on, you know, stuff like that. But now I think it's been confirmed. Yes, it is her side of the story, but I believe her. There's always been weird things going on.
Oh,
you know, none of it's made sense. I think there's a few things I just wanted to read because it's just
it's like
insane.
We were talking about, like, we knew that she was going through these things, but whenever you see her able to speak about it, it makes it even more real. So it's like the fact that she's talking. The biggest thing for me is when she was saying she wanted to get her IUD out because she wanted to potentially have children.
That's what I was going to say as well. Is one of the biggest things is just like she doesn't have control of her own body. Like we already knew she didn't have that much control over decisions, as in like she can't even ride in her boyfriend's car. She can't make any purchases on her own with her own money she's worked her own life for. But that one really stood out to me. The fact that she was like, I'm essentially forced to wear an IUD and I can't take it out.
Disgusting.
And that's a decision.
The grossest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and it's a decision by her dad. And the lawyers that she's having to pay to control her life, because by court order, she's paying the lawyers to take over or to deal with her conservatorship that is controlling her, that she doesn't have any say in, but yet they make money off of her.
Oh, it's
because
so gross.
It's so gross. And so with stuff like that, she was saying that she has no control over anything. She has no control over her money. She just wants to be able to ride in her boyfriend's car. She wants to be able to make a decision on her own. She wants control of her body again. And there was even instances where she, how she did her Vegas residency and stuff like that. She didn't want to continue the Vegas residency, but they were like, oh, well, you're being uncooperative. So we're going to tell the courts, and then we're going to have to do this, and you're going to get this taken away. And then there was even an instance where
she had to perform in she had 104-degree fever or something, and she was forced to perform.
Yeah, it's everything. She has no say, and they have to. If she goes against what they're telling her, she's being considered uncooperative, which is against, I guess, whatever they have set up.
Like her rules, basically, like a child.
Because there was one story that she told during this is that she disagreed on a dance move on her tour, and her management called her therapist, and her therapist was on the management side. And next time she went, and that's what she was saying. She's like, I can't even disagree about a dance move, and y'all are acting as if I dropped a bomb on this place. And whenever she went to her next appointment, the guy was like, hey, just letting you know that I heard you're being really uncooperative at rehearsals and stuff like that. So it's she's truly getting ganged up on. Exactly. That's what I mean. She was in, she had no control over anything. And also everyone around her is working for the people that are against her.
Oh my God. So. It's such another level of evil that we can't.
And it's her own dad.
Exactly. And that's the thing. The man who literally is your father that you look up to your entire life is the one treating her like absolute garbage on the side of the road and taking all her money.
Yeah, and that's another interesting thing. I don't think she talked about this in the court hearings, but just people, talking, or her reported net worth is $60 million, which that's nothing to scoff at. That's amazing.
I'm surprised it's not way more.
But that's what I'm saying. So even her Vegas residency alone, I think she was supposedly making over $100 million in total for the contract. Yeah. Where is that money? If she doesn't have control over her money, why is that money not immediately being deposited into a bank account? Maybe even a little, obviously upkeep, but she doesn't live a luxury or a super over the top life. She has a really nice house and has some nice cars, but she's not spending $100 million. You know what I mean?
She's not who she was whenever she was going through a really tough time mentally. She's so she's changed a lot.
That was 13 years ago.
Exactly. She's changed so much. The fact that she doesn't have access to these things, it's just it's so bad. She should be worth $500 million easily. With the other pop stars Lady Gaga, Beyonce.
So I mean, that doesn't even really scratch the surface, to be honest. But there's so many things we could say. I feel like we're gonna keep coming back to this each week.
I feel like there's a lot more, for sure.
Yeah. So I want to get deeper into it. I want to get some more information. But this is just the stuff that came out last night or yesterday. And if you haven't Googled it, go do it. Educate yourself, because it is wild, and these types of situations should not be happening.
Should not be happening at all. It's really sad. It's awful.
Yeah.
But you say,
free Britney. Here I'm saying, free Britney.
Free Britney.
Wearing Britney shirts all weekend, just in support.
Love it. I guess our next hot take, and we have a few more this week. Cynthia Bailey removed her why is it so hard to say RHOA out loud? RHOA from her bio. So is she leaving Atlanta? Would you miss her? What do you think?
I honestly, I thought she wasn't going to be on last season, to be honest.
I didn't either.
I thought we've already gone through this. Yes, I thought we've already gone through this, so.
I was talking to my mom about it. I was like, no, Cynthia's not coming back, blah, blah, blah. And then she was fully back having a wedding. And I was like, okay, so I guess I was wrong.
So I wouldn't be surprised, just because I already had prepared myself for this last season. And when she was in the promo, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Wait, oh my God, those earrings.
Would I be sad? Oh, no.
PTSD.
Just
would you
planning
be sad?
A wedding during the middle of COVID was a trigger.
Yeah, it was a bad move.
Would I be sad? I don't think so.
Yeah, me either.
I've always liked Cynthia. I think she's goofy. I think she's very down to earth comparative to the housewives, other housewives in the franchises. But she's always kind of just been there. So I don't think she'll be missed in the sense of like drama on the show. But I did like her, so I guess I would be like, oh, that sucks. But like, I'm not going to be watching next season and be like, oh, I miss Cynthia. She should be here. But I appreciated her in all the seasons she was on.
You know who it reminds me of? It's like, I think we both do this. Whenever we're talking about like Real Housewives of Orange County and we're putting like the cast together, we always forget Shannon. Even though Shannon did bring a lot at one point. It's like when I'm doing Atlanta's cast, I'm like, all right, we have Porsha, we have Kenya. Like I'm going through. I always forget Cynthia, which is bad. But I'm just like, that makes me feel like her storyline has maybe come to an end. Maybe we just need some more fresh blood.
Yeah, and I personally wasn't a huge fan of like the Chahil part of her storyline. Happy for her.
So fake.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, oh, I'm writing a book, guys. Anyone want to come read my book? And it's like, no. And then like how like he's like, it come to Los Angeles and we'll talk about my 4 divorces with all these people and my daughter cries. I was like, that was so weird.
Or whatever, he was like, we're going through on this day, like we're not moving it, blah blah blah. And some people saw it as like romantic and like, okay, like he just wants to marry her. And I was always like, I just think he was always a little bit of an opportunist. Could be wrong. I hope they work out forever.
Yeah, I hope so too. It's just not something I really like cared to watch. Like it was just too like, okay, that's fine. And I also think like whenever she was going through, what was his name, Peter, all of that stuff, that was pretty interesting. And also the Nene stuff, that was very interesting. But it's like, we've already gone through like the marriage part of Cynthia's life.
Right.
And then like, she's done, like Nene and her aren't friends anymore. So she was truly just like there.
And that's, more than ever, she's kind of just there. So I am with you. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal if she leaves. Our next hot take, I know, guys, we keep saying we're not going to talk about her anymore, but Brauwynn was spotted out with Fernanda. Y'all will remember her as Tamara's friend and like gym owner, or she worked out at her gym, and she was a lesbian. They've been spotted out kissing and they are dating apparently. I mean, I'm not surprised by this at all. I could
not surprised.
You definitely aren't either.
No, because
anything to stay in the spotlight at this point.
I was like, what's gonna make a good headline? Oh, Fernanda, because she was the only other person that's like was on the Housewives that's a lesbian or out lesbian.
Ever. She's the only one. Oh, I guess Rosie, but yeah.
Oh, Rosie, yeah. But I think like Fernanda was in the runnings for like being a housewife slot.
She was.
Like, I'm pretty sure, and that was like a while ago. So that would have been amazing.
I think it was season 6.
I'm for it, obviously. Yeah. It's Brauwynn, where I just feel like a lot of her actions are opportunistic, and I'm not saying that lesbian of it all. I believe that. I'm proud of her for that. But it's just like, why does she have to be dating Fernanda? Like, how does that happen?
And how is the paparazzi always where she is?
Always. And like that shot where she was like running back to Fernanda's car to like give her another kiss because she just can't be without her was so ridiculous.
So planned. Yeah, we won't spend too much time on it. We just had to mention it was interesting and it was in the Housewife universe this week. What we are excited about.
Well, hold on, really quick before you transition, is like just to add to like piling on top of like, because she does that was a storyline, or sorry, a headline. And then I think like that same day or the day after, her and her husband go on Instagram Live and are answering questions, and she's all like glammed up and like blah blah. I'm like, girl, you're not a housewife anymore.
Are you serious?
Exit. So I'm just adding to the like, you know.
Oh my
it's just, like,
god.
It's just funny that like she's also doing Instagram Lives and like talking about all this when.
I'm not surprised at all.
She also has a headline. She's dating Fernanda while you're having an Instagram Live with your current husband. Okay.
Yeah, every opportunity she can. I don't know why people keep whatever. I guess if you like her,
I just want her.
It's not for us.
To go find her happiness, and I just think her happiness is not on the show.
I would agree. I would say it's.
And our happiness is also
our happiness is definitely not on the show. But we are happy about to transition into Kim Richards' book. So it was on the table a while ago. Like there were people messaging us like, "Oh my god, I had pre-ordered it and then it got canceled. Like, it's back on." And I was like,
"Yeah, I thought it was like 2-ish years ago, maybe 3 years ago." Yeah, I think it was like right when she was off the show.
Okay.
Not maybe right, but like within the year of like her no longer being on the show, like the rumors came out. And it's that same cover, because like if you look at it now, it's just kind of like a digital cover. It's not even a real cover yet at this point.
So it's like the one that was released.
It's the same one. So it's just going through now, which is more interesting.
On October 15th.
Oh, that's not far away at all.
No, it's not. It's called The Whole Truth, The Reality of It All. It was canceled in 2020 due to a host of delays. And while Kim got to keep the $300,000 advance for the tele memoir, It is now, they've decided to publish it. The
I
former
feel
child
like
actress will tell her truth.
I feel like it's because of the popularity of like Kathy and
Yeah.
Kyle being on the show as like a duo. And we all know that Kathy and Kim are actually really close. They were actually closer than Kyle and Kathy most of the time.
A
Like
lot
that's
of
what
the
we always
time,
heard. So
they
I
would like
feel
not talk to
like
Kyle for a while, and they would like always keep a
yeah.
relationship. Yeah.
So I feel like now the pressure is on again, or at least they're trying to motivate Kim to put a book out even more so now because they're so popular at this moment. Like Kathy is on fire, and
Oh,
Kyle,
y'all
it's
know
actually
we stand
making
Kathy.
Kyle likable.
Yeah.
In a way. Like Kyle, not that she's fine. Like I've always said, I've enjoyed Kyle on the show. She's a good housewife, and she plays her part really
She
well.
serves her purpose.
But I think she's more enjoyable with Kathy on because you're seeing a different dynamic of Kyle, and I think she can't be like
she can't script Kathy, so like she
yes,
can't like organize everything going on around her, so it's real. It's like Kathy's gonna be
exactly.
Kathy. So
And Kathy's not gonna take Kyle's like fake bullshit. So if Kyle does it in front of
that's true.
Kathy, I feel like Kyle's worried about getting called out. So she's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like
Be
be
funny.
real,
Like yeah.
be real. Is
Be
that
real.
Simon Van Camp or whatever?
Be real. Oh my god. What if they happen to be in New York this weekend visiting from Australia and you ran into them?
I did see there's a ton of housewives here. I don't know. I guess
Really
for
hope
Pride or
probably. Like I really hope you run into one.
I
If
hope
y'all
so
see Chase
too.
out on the streets acting a fool in New York, it's definitely him. So video it.
I was like, it's not me.
If you're in New York, it's
I'm gonna
definitely
be.
Chase, and video it and send it to
Yeah,
me.
I'm gonna have glitter on my short shorts.
Yes.
My Britney shorts as I keep talking about. So
Obviously, the
if you
only
see
thing
a
to
man that
pass.
looks like that, turn the other way.
Keep
There
the
will be a lot of people that
moment.
look like that. It's Pride.
I was like, you're gonna see like a bunch of chases, and I'm living for it. Our last hot take, not really a take. We just have to send a birthday shout out. Porsha Diane Williams turned 40 years old on June 22nd, and she looks amazing. Shout out to Porsha.
New man, new decade.
I mean, I don't know if that tattoo looks amazing, but she looks amazing. Like that's so
Porsha always looks amazing. I actually was sitting down the other day, just casually. I wasn't even watching Housewives. I was just sitting on my couch and I was like, wow, Portia's engaged to a very random person.
That's
And I was
like
like, I was gonna say, I still feel like we didn't spend enough time on that. Like us collectively. Oh, sorry guys, here's a siren.
There goes the fire truck.
You're involved.
I don't know if y'all heard, but the trash, today is our trash pickup, and I heard the trash car go by like 5 minutes ago, so y'all probably heard that too.
Just be here with us. We're all in the present together, okay?
Were the firemen hot? The firewomen? Did you see them?
I didn't see. They turned the other way. I
Oh.
did try to look. I am casually just like looking down because people are walking by. So if I'm just looking over, someone may or may not be hot.
You can't escape them.
I know.
Walking by and taking pictures of you. Okay, on that note, should we jump into our game?
Yo, yeah, let's do that. I like this one.
I like this one too.
Cassidy came.
I feel like we've maybe done some of these before because
okay.
we played, but we're doing one season wonder housewife taglines. So.
Honestly, guys, at this point, if you have any game ideas, send them our way. Because like we are thinking of some and like, we have more like, in the pipeline. But at this point, I feel like some of them we're going to recycle, which is not a problem because there is so much like, stuff we can pull from.
Like so bad that like we won't even remember that we've asked each other.
Exactly. So. But if there's any like fresh game ideas, I'm always interested to hear. We love playing them. And I hope that y'all like try to guess along with us. So if y'all have something that y'all have always thought of that would be fun to play, send them over and we'll do our best.
Yes, I second.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. Yeah.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. But I didn't do multiple choice. You didn't do multiple choice either, did you?
I didn't. It's just you guess it or you are done.
And I did East Coast for Chase and he did West Coast for me. So that's just giving y'all a little hint whenever they are asked. So number 1 for you. I'm a survivor. No one is bringing me down.
I'm a survivor. I'm not. That's all I know. Stop you.
Destiny's Child.
That's it. I don't know anything else. Okay, I'm a survivor and what?
And no one is bringing me down.
No one is bringing me down. I have no idea.
You want to take a guess?
I can't even think of anyone, to be honest. I may be drinking vodka. This isn't wine today, guys.
Drink vodka,
I'm in a New York state of mind.
Yes, and that mind is vodka. Okay, so you don't have a guess for me? All right.
Oh,
I almost said it.
Barbara Kay. She wasn't a housewife.
Oh my, what if you ran into Barbara Kay this weekend?
Oh my God,
Running for governor?
mayoral elect reject. I don't think she ever made it.
Oh, she didn't even make it on the
No,
ballot.
I don't think she made the primary either. So I know the primary vote just happened, but I don't think she was on the list.
Probably because all her papers got so smudged up from her fake tanner when she was like trying to write. It was just like an entire like page of like brown. Okay, anyway, sorry. The answer was Amber Marchese. Remember, Married to the
I
Biggest
canceled them out of my brain forever ago. If you said, "Hey, I hate
wish I
gays,"
would've.
I would have been like Amber Marchese.
That's what I know. I was gonna be
know?
like, her husband is the biggest piece of shit on the
Wow,
planet.
Cassidy,
Doesn't give
on
you a
Pride,
hint.
you're gonna talk about this lady on Pride
I-
weekend.
Only had 6 options for one season Wonder Housewives for the East Coast, and I wasn't gonna do the twins because it was so obvious. Because you're not seeing devil, you're seeing trouble. You would have.
Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't have known their name. I would have been like the twins that no one cared for.
Well, wasn't one
Jersey.
Teresa? It was Teresa.
Oh yeah, because you had to say
Nicole.
it differently. Ugh.
Yeah, they'd be like Teresa and Teresa. I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Ask me my first one. Let's
Okay, your first one. You could never be too young, too thin, or too honest.
Joyce Gerard or something.
Yeah.
Gerard.
Correct.
I definitely.
That one I actually kind of remembered whenever I looked it up. Because I remember her like spinning, and she was fucking
She had
stunning.
the most amazing hair I've ever seen in my entire life.
And she was stunning.
Yeah.
And just, I liked the idea of her, but she never really talked much.
She just didn't make sense on the show.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, but
sad.
she's still friends with Lisa Vanderpump. I did.
Yeah, I see her all the time now, and that's why it's like maybe that's why I kind of like remembered her because like she still pops up on my feed because she's like hanging out with Lisa randomly a lot lately.
Yeah,
like, I don't know why, but randomly a lot.
Like, loads of pictures and like going to like Sir and like all that. But already ready for your second?
Mm-hmm.
I may be an open book, but that doesn't mean I'm easily read.
This one sounds so familiar.
Is it?
No.
Like, you definitely know it. I'll tell you that.
Is it? Oh God. Is it a New York housewife? Can I at least get a clue?
I'm not giving clues. We didn't do clues.
Oh my God, we're not doing clues. You know what? I'm this bad that I should have a handy like cap, like in bowling when you get like an extra couple like points or something if you're like behind. Something like that.
Handicap is in golf. Does bowling?
Oh, is that golf? I think bowling does it too. You know, I'm an ex-bowler.
Remember we watched bowling recently, and it was like a queen of the court, and it was very intense.
It was. They were literally
crowns and had like sabers, and like it was very intense. This bowling match.
If you won, you got to sit in a throne on the lane. Like you're not like on to the side. Like you're on the lane right beside where they're bowling with a crown, a scepter, on a throne.
Yeah,
it's like what?
Literally iconic. We were like so drawn in, we couldn't stop watching.
I was gonna say we actually sat there like we're silent and like, wow, this
Look
is
at
great.
us at a sports bar watching bowling. Who even are
Hey, it's a sport. Sports. Gay rights. Sports. So that's to delay me answering because I don't know.
The bowling tournament.
It's funny because I want to say like Aviva or like Carol. I know that's not them because like they're like authors or ghostwriters or whatever they are.
Yeah.
But that I also can't think of the girl that I don't think this is their tagline, but the other New York girl that like cook things into a calzone.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
It's obviously not her because you're like, oh,
or am I throwing you off? I don't know.
I'm just gonna guess her. I don't know her name, but
so your guess is Jules Weinstein?
Yeah.
Or Weinstein?
Yeah.
No, it's Shamari DeVoe from Atlanta.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about it. Okay. Again,
Shamari wasted. I knew you knew that, and you're with Meg this weekend, and I know she would appreciate that. So. I
always forget Dallas and Atlanta, like, cause like they're in the middle.
I didn't
so
do
I literally.
Dallas, so I will.
I didn't either, but I looked it up, and I was like, wait, no, I'm not gonna do Dallas, cause like I think there's only one season 1 housewife anyway.
Yeah, it's Tiffany.
Yeah, and I don't even remember her tagline.
Well, Tiffany Hendra, not Tiffany Moon, but
yeah, Tiffany Hendra. Yeah. So I forgot Atlanta and Dallas because I always forget that. Also, I did want to for a second like put in like a Salt Lake City housewife because like they've only had 1 season. I didn't. I didn't, but I was just like I thought about it.
I feel like I know them all anyways.
I know because we actually I think did them before because when we did a current housewife tagline game, I think I asked those. So I didn't do that, but I was like, does this count?
And Salt Lake's pretty fresh in our minds still too, so I feel like that's another reason it's like.
Okay,
All
your
right, give it
second
to
one.
me.
Standing out is much more fun than fitting in.
Lizzie Rosbeck from Orange County.
Yes. Oh my
I knew that
god.
one for sure.
Oh my god.
Okay, are you ready for your next one?
Yes.
I have everything I've ever wanted, and it's all on my own terms. I'm not feeling confident for you on this. I feel like you forgot she existed.
Oh no, like you truly don't think I know who this person
No, I
is?
truly don't think you know who this woman is now that since we're this far into this game, I genuinely don't think this woman could be walking down the street and you wouldn't even know her name. I'm so sorry to this woman.
I've closed the book on her. Great, just tell me. Girl, I'm failing.
You don't want to take a guess?
You know, honestly, one season Housewives, right out, because I don't have the
She's in New
bandwidth
York.
for that.
I'll just give you that.
Oh, thank you. You would think that helped.
I thought I would like literally give it to you, but
I know, because there's really not that many like one season Housewives in New York. Is it Jules Weinstein?
Hers was so easy. It was a Jew and an Asian walked into a bar, and then they had me. You don't remember that?
Oh my God, you're right.
It was Cindy Barship, Vajazzle Queen.
Oh God, Vajazzle Queen. Vajazzle.
Vajazzle Dazzle Queen.
I was thinking of Quag or whatever. Whenever
Quag.
remember they wanted
went
her to go out to Quag, and she's like,
They
Ramona being psycho was like, why the fuck would I come out to Quag or whatever?
Well, and she went out to Quag, and then she was so mad because they didn't have her Pinot Grigio. It's the one thing they forgot. But yeah, no, it was not Jules Weinstein. It was
How
Cindy
did I
Barship.
not know Cindy? I should have known that actually, because
I should have known
Vajazzle
it.
Queen,
especially
as you
because
said.
it's all on my own terms, and like she had twins by herself. So I always think that's why it was her.
That's a good. There's all there are clues in them. I just don't read the clues that well.
It's like context clues are just not my thing.
No, they really aren't. Oh,
All right, I'm ready
okay.
for
Well, I
my
guess it's your
third.
turn
Time to open
to
the
get it
book back
right.
up.
My advice: speak your mind and carry a good handbag.
Oh my God, I don't know.
I don't know why I did it in that voice, but you know.
My advice: speak your mind and carry a good handbag.
This one's tough.
I literally have no idea. My advice: speak your mind and carry a good handbag. I'm gonna guess like an early season, like OC maybe. Like Quinn Fry. Is it
No,
her?
it was Catherine Edwards.
Oh, really?
I knew you would forget about her because
that's not her tagline.
Oh, is it not?
No, it was "Don't hate the game, marry a player," right?
Oh shit. Wait,
No, you might be right, but I don't think so. I swear.
On Catherine Edwards' tagline. I swear that's what I Googled.
You could be right, but I swear I thought it was like "Don't hate the game, just marry a player."
Yeah, it is. My advice, at least look, I'm going to show you on the Zoom. So here's her. Oh, that's not her. Here's her. And then my advice.
I'm getting my phone. Hold on, y'all. I swear that's not
Wait,
it.
I'm going to type in that tagline. What is it? Hate the player. What is it?
Don't hate the game, just marry a player.
Hate the game, marry a player. Let's see if it comes up. Wait, it says...
Yeah, that was her tagline.
Why is it coming up that, though? Like, that's on multiple sites. That's so weird.
Because I go to the website called realtaglines.com, and it has every tagline ever.
Look, again, wait, Bravo TV says this is her tagline.
I think they messed up, because... Was she on 2 seasons?
Was she? No.
What season does that say for you? Because this says season 6.
This one says season 6.
Okay, I'm gonna go to season 6 after we film this, and I'm gonna see what it is.
Look,
I'm 98% sure I'm right.
Look, bravotv.com, and then it says Catherine Edwards. My advice: speak your mind and carry a handbag.
What does it say underneath that?
Sadly, we'll have to wait later in the season to see new wife Catherine in the opening titles, but we're thinking her tagline. What? Oh, her tagline has pretty sage advice.
So I think that they didn't end up adding her that season or something, because why would... I swear I don't remember that.
That's weird. Okay.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Cassie's wrong.
But I know that this is right because you know me, I can remember things.
That actually sounds familiar. So like whenever you said that, I was like, shit, that's probably is wrong. But everything I'm just looked at says that the one that I have written down. Weird.
I'm gonna go back and double check that. I think that it's right, but we'll see.
I don't know.
Alrighty, ready for your next? I know. I'm confident. I am feeling my confidence on this one. Okay.
I respect the confidence.
I always knew I was destined for greatness. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking.
You thought I was just talking about myself.
Always knew I was destined for greatness. That is on New York. No, Atlanta. No. Which one is it? New Jersey? I always knew I was destined for greatness. I had to have been early because the thing is, that was such a short tagline. Who allows that?
You sound like Rain Man right now.
Just calculating in my mind, you know. Did you hear that?
They were trying to help you. They're trying to get you ahead.
I can't. I don't know.
You want to take a guess?
No, I honestly can't think.
Deshaun Snow of Atlanta.
Oh my! See, at least my brain was working the right thing. So I was like, oh, it had to have been early on because I was like,
season 1.
Short. Oh, Deshaun Snow. Remember whenever she tried to throw $1 million gala and they only got like $1?
I do very vividly remember that. It was on recently and I enjoyed every minute of watching it.
I actually, you know what? One of my favorite things to do is go back to watch like the first 3 seasons of Atlanta or honestly the best TV I think I've ever seen.
I'm not going to argue with you.
It brings me such joy. And I don't know at what season I kind of like, not that I stopped liking it, but it's just like, it kind of just goes like, oh, okay, I remember this stuff. Like
I think it's like after 6 or 7, like whenever whenever Claudia Jordan came on, not that like she was the problem by any means, but like that's when it kind of like started to change.
Her toe was the problem. Was it her toe?
She had like really bad bunions or something.
Was that like something like Nene like called her out on?
Yeah, like they got in a fight about it because like she was roasting Nene for her hair or something. I don't know. Then they started talking about
honestly,
feet.
I relate to Claudia in that way. I actually don't have bad feet, but Cassie claims I have bad feet because she has a foot phobia, and that's on her problem. That's on her.
No, you also don't.
I will show my feet right now.
Oh my God, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're not subjecting them to this. Oh my God. Okay, give me my next question before I throw up. Just thinking about your feet. No, okay, his feet aren't that bad. I just don't like feet. He's right.
She's just dramatic about
they're
feet.
They're not great either, and he thinks they're like the best thing. Like,
I could be a foot model, is what I'm saying, but it's
not. That is
honestly to each their own. Everyone has their own, what they think is beautiful.
Feet, I am not shaming that at all. I'm just saying I am not into feet.
I'm not into feet. I'm just into like my own feet.
And that's the problem. I think if Chase could suck his own toes, he would if he was flexible enough. Like some guys would be like, "Oh, I wish I could suck my own D," and Chase is like, "I wish I could suck my own toes."
Should I try?
No.
Okay, no. Cassidy, to move on.
Okay.
Soccer moms drive minivans, but this girl drives a Bentley.
Peggy Tanos from Orange County.
Good job.
And she's shooting a gun in the opening, and I was always like very like, this is a lot, girl.
It's
like,
so Orange County of her.
It's so Orange County and so not Beverly Hills.
I always was so surprised when I first watched Orange County, which was from the beginning, by the way. I don't know if I told this story on the podcast, but my dad is actually the person that got me into Housewives. Mm-hmm. He didn't realize what he was doing because it was like, like the first season of OC was more of a documentary, like truly it was. It wasn't what Housewives is today. So my dad saw it and he like was watching it one day and he was like, I found this random show about these like rich ladies. It's funny. And I was like watching it. And then like he never watched it past the first season. Mm-hmm. But to this day, I'm like, Gary, you caused this.
Hair is our addiction. And I know
he doesn't want to admit it.
Does he watch Salt Lake Now sometimes?
He did because he wanted to support our podcast. So I thought that was really
sweet.
We
love you, Gary.
But I know, Gary's an icon. And if he doesn't say thank you, I know he doesn't listen anymore.
Ooh, we're going to have to test him next.
Yeah, also happy birthday and happy Father's Day. So, there's a lot of things that he should say thank you to now. So,
yeah. So he should be
This is a test. But Gary is the reason I'm even here talking Bravo because
that's iconic.
We watch it. But what I was saying was I never realized that California was so like guns ablazing and like
how different parts of
conservative and stuff. And OC being so close to LA, I just assumed, big city, not so
Conservative.
gun-toting and conservative, which I don't know, but it's funny. So whenever you say she's opening, her opening scene is
Goes with a gun. You're not like
oh,
that
shit.
surprised, right?
Yeah,
You're like,
not anymore.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready for my next one? Right? Oh, wait, is it for me to ask you?
You're asking me.
I'm asking you, okay. I'm a ball and gala girl. It's my legacy and my calling.
I'm a ball and gala girl. I feel like that could easily be Tinsley, but it's not, obviously. But I feel like Tinsley's a ball and gala girl.
I could totally be Tinsley.
A ball and gala girl. Is that the what's her name from Potomac? She was on it for one season. Actually, she kind of came back, but I don't know if that counts.
You're right. It's Katie Rust.
Woo! I got one right.
Got it. Yeah.
Well, not really, but I described it enough.
I knew you were right in talking about it because she didn't come back as like a housewife. She came back for like a couple episodes and they like went on a trip or something.
Yeah, like
she didn't like come back.
Never showed back up. Yeah.
No, she's very chaotic, but she's entertaining.
Yeah, I knew there was a Potomac one coming in there because I always wanted to guess Ashley Darby every time you ask these questions, and I don't. And they're like Ashley Darby like 3 questions later, and I'm like,
damn it!
So I was waiting for Potomac to come.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming. Okay, your last question. I think this is going to solidify your win. I don't really know. We're close, so I don't want to give it to you yet, but
I'm praying.
In my world, money doesn't talk. It swears.
Carlton Jebbia, however you say it.
Good job, Cassidy. One wrong, pending.
It's not wrong. It's 100% right.
I think it's wrong, but
I'm confident.
Like I said, this is pending at the moment.
It's not. Well, the victory is not pending. But
the victory is not pending at all.
I think I'm right, but we'll see. I will confirm this 100%. I will even screen record and post it to our stories after our episode airs. If I'm right. If you guys never hear of it again, then I was wrong. I have a hard time admitting when I'm wrong. So if you guys never hear about this again, ignore.
Guys, don't even look forward to that because we always say we're gonna talk about things later and we always forget. So I'm very sorry. I'm gonna start making notes because
we still need to post chips.
Oh, we still need to post chips. I didn't remember that.
There's 10,000 things. We need to just start whenever you're editing, just flag it and be like, all right,
I'm going to.
We need to post this, but
I'm gonna start doing that because we're always we're gonna post this information. We're gonna post a picture, and then me and you next episode we're gonna post, and it just piles up.
We're we never even remembered that we had that conversation. Moving on, that's basically what
pin ready, Cassidy. Pin ready
every single time. But this time I will remember because I'm so curious to see if I got it right.
I feel when it comes to competition, Cassidy will remember.
100%. That's the only thing I'll remember in life.
This will give her a sweep. So if she gets a sweep, that's you can't beat that at all.
That's what I'm here for, y'all. Sweeping the nation. All right, are y'all ready to jump into the return of Erika Jayne on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Should we just do it?
Yeah, I'm actually very ready.
I mean, we're kicking things off and Erika is showing up to Sutton's and she's just kind of so what's going on, ladies, when they're all sitting around? Completely nonchalant, she didn't just drop this freaking nuclear bomb on them. Like a robot almost.
Very robotic. I feel was it Garcelle that said it? Was kind of just oh, she's walking in and acting so cool, talking about all this other stuff when we all know she is in the middle of divorcing her husband, or at least
she said that in her interview.
Yeah, and I'm Garcelle is truly speaking all of the truths this season. It's everything that we're thinking as viewers. She's saying out loud in the confessionals, and I'm very much here for it.
Because she's the only one that's not on that bandwagon of when Rinna and Kyle were organizing everything. Garcelle's always her own person, and she always speaks her truth, and that's how most of us feel.
And that's what I like when someone comes on the show and their full-time job isn't housewives, because they just have a different perspective on it. This is Garcelle's, I'm not saying she's not getting a nice paycheck and this isn't making her in the spotlight. Not saying that's not true, but this isn't her full only gig. And
she's a working actress.
Exactly. So. And a very successful one at that.
Yeah.
So whenever it's not your only gig, you really have a different perspective on things and just don't really give a fuck to be in these groups and that they're all in Kyle, Lisa, Dorit,
we talked about it last season. Garcelle wasn't at a lot of things because she was always gone working and stuff. And I think it's changed more this season and she's gotten more involved, probably because they told her that she has to, but she's still being her own person.
And I'm very like happy about that because I like Garcelle's energy. She's very
I love Garcelle.
chill, very cool, but like I said, speaking the truth. So she did say that, which is very accurate. Like she comes in very nonchalant, not acting like anything happened. Everyone's a little bit awkward, and
they're like they don't even talk about it really at first. Like they're sitting there and they're talking about like Dorit and Kyle and like the drama they've been having, and they're like, and Garcelle even says, well, Dorit does speak a little long-winded, and then they go into we're getting it off our chest early this week, Queen Kathy moment of the week. They're talking in shorthand. She's like, Kyle's doing an example, and it's like Kathy will be like, I was speaking to and it was clear to and then she said like that's like every conversation is like that with her.
See, this is a moment where this is your Queen Kathy moment of the week.
Yeah.
But also, this is my moment where I was like, oh, Kyle was actually funny, endearing, and kind of like personable because she was making fun of Kathy. And it was actually like, wow, Kyle, you can be funny. You can be fun.
And it was real.
And it was real. Because we're not seeing splits Kyle, where she thinks I'm fun because I can do the splits on a table. And it's like, no, you're not fun.
If I have to see that woman do the splits one more time, I'm like, Kyle, we're tired. Like, I am tired. I cannot watch you do the splits anymore.
Yeah. So this gave her a good moment.
That's a good point. And I also had to point out whenever Rinna leans over to Erika and they haven't really even talked about the divorce. And she says, how's Tiago doing? I was like, that's not us. Like, I've been worried about Tiago the entire time.
Cassidy, I can't find it right now. But I'm so happy we got an update on Tiago because Cassie was very concerned about his well-being.
I was like ready to take Tiago in if she was going to jail. I need to make sure that my sweet little Tiago is okay.
I don't even know if you said on the podcast. You may have, but I know we've had separate conversations, and Cassie's like, you know what? All that really matters is her dog. And I was like, you know what?
All that matters
I'm here for that.
Tiago gets his little cut of the money that he's owed just for existing. And
another thing I enjoyed about the scenes, this is when they're all sitting down at lunch, that they called Dorit long-winded, which is what led to the shorthand thing. Love that. And also caviar on a baked potato?
Was that I thought it was a baked potato. Was that a baked potato? I was because it needed to be served at the table so it didn't get clumpy, whatever the hell that means.
Dude, I was like, I am here for that baked potato situation.
Remember on Southern Charm this season, like Patricia started serving caviar and potato chips. So like maybe it's something with that, but I just like texturally it's soft. Like
I love me a baked potato, so I'm like mush it all together, stir it up, throw some pulled pork on it
too, but I don't think I want more mush on it. Like I like with like crispy bacon bits and like some
fair.
And like whatever you put, just like mushy
I wonder if like a sour cream and onion chip crumbled on top of a baked potato would be like a good accoutrement.
That would be literally the best thing I've ever heard, and I can't
believe
we haven't tried that.
We're gonna try that. Like, hey, pin handy, guys. We're gonna talk.
We're gonna try. Oh my God,
sour cream and onion chip
on our bonus pod because we're talking about what we're gonna do. One of our things could be trying housewives' weird food combination things. Obviously, we're not going to be paying for the caviar.
Oh, hell no. No, we're going to pay for some Pringles. Crunch those up.
This idea. That's basically like caviar, right, guys? But no, all right, Chase is writing it down.
I literally am actually writing it down. Sour cream onion chips on baked potato.
That honestly in food is something I would not forget either. I remember competition. I remember snacks. Like, that's it. Like, in dogs. That's pretty much it.
There we go.
But back into Erika, she briefly mentions, because I think Garcelle says, oh, Sutton, do you want to tell the ladies what we did yesterday? And she's like, I bought a new car. And Erika kind of says, oh, you can give me a ride, like jokingly. And then she says, well, I did get a new car too. And they're like, what'd you get? And she was like, a Range Rover. I was like, okay. Like, she keeps talking about like she's gonna have nothing. Yeah. And now she gets a Range Rover.
That's still a very expensive car, by the way.
So expensive. It's like an $80,000 car.
Yeah.
But she says, let's discuss the elephant in the room. Like, I let go of my Lamborghini. I let go of my house. I let go of my marriage this week. Like, I left because I was pushed. Like, and it starts showing a tour of her house and her, like, confessionals.
Mind you, her new house is so cute.
I love it.
I loved it. I was like, I want to live there in 5 seconds. We'll never be able to afford it.
That backyard.
And I'm like, this is her like struggle bus house. I'm like, what?
That's like stop. Like, you look like such an asshole by trying to make it like this is your struggle.
And that was annoying when she was like, I had to give up my Lambo, my 16, and I hate how like she's like my 16,000 square, like she has to say the square footage.
Yeah.
And now I just bought a Range Rover. I was like, oh, poor little Erika buying herself $100,000 car.
I mean,
because she had to give up her Lambo.
And
like,
they're showing a full tour of the house, and it's like showing all her stuff. And she's like, conversations that used to be like hours with us were reduced to sentences. It just sounds like such a computer.
It does. I mean, it sounds rehearsed.
It sounds so rehearsed. Like, her lawyer's like, this is where you're going to go, and this is all you're going to give them because you don't need to talk anymore about it. She's like, my marriage was never conventional. In my marriage, I was always dismissed. Like, everything is great. Everything is perfect. Everything is good. What could you possibly have to complain about? And she says, like, she did file on election day, so it would hopefully get buried under
I appreciate she said that, though, because I feel like everyone already thought that. But I kind of like that she was like, oh, yeah, I definitely did that on that purpose. I was like, okay, well,
it's nice that it was confirmed. I do agree. And she says, whenever I get a handle on what's coming for me, and it will be coming for me. I was like, that's very ominous. That makes me think that she knows some more about the legal case. Here's my thing. I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think, after seeing this episode, that the divorce is real, or do you think that it was just for all of this stuff coming out, like, financially?
It made things tougher, I will say. Because, you know, we're off the heels of the Hulu documentary when me and you were very passionate about how, you know, horrible that was. Sorry, guys, I'm getting comfortable.
Just to his toes out again.
Not this time. So coming off the heels of the Hulu thing, you know, we were obviously very passionate about anti-Erika, which I always have kind of been anti-Erika. So this is, again, not new. But this episode, it kind of like, I understood what she was saying when it became, you know, like, because she was saying examples of like he was very dismissive to her. He was pushing her away. They barely talked. You know, he was a very powerful man, and she always felt like she knew her place in the relationship. You know, stuff like that. I was like, that seems like a very common, not common in like that it's okay, but common in like marriages of like different power dynamics. Like I feel like you can fall into that.
33-year age
or that, and like he met her when she was really young, and like she said she had a son, and he had like a lot of money, and like it just creates, it doesn't always, but it can create a different dynamic where it's like, oh, as Erika said, she's like, I'm appreciative of what he's given me, so I don't complain, kind of thing. So I understood how that could be true, but that doesn't mean that I necessarily completely believe it. I feel like there could be parts of it that, like, you know, that is thing where, you know, maybe they weren't as close as they used to be, or maybe they weren't, you know,
but we always thought it was weird that he never came to like anything. He never was around her.
There's producer Joe. This is great.
Hi, Joe. Producer Joe just popped in if you guys are watching on YouTube. I don't think y'all have ever seen his face. He's so cute. We love him.
Still nice. Still masked up. So
he's still masked up. True. We'll just keep him like a shadowed figure in the distance.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, I think that it's definitely made it tougher because I didn't find myself feeling sorry for Erika all in this episode, but I found more of like an insight. I found it a little more interesting because, like, I think, like you said, we were pretty hardcore, like Erika, like, knew all this probably. It definitely made it more interesting.
It's just, again, what I keep
alluded to knowing a lot in this episode.
What I keep reminding myself is, it's like, this is very perfect timing for her to do all this. It's like, oh, I had all these feelings for so long, and he treated me badly, and he made me feel like less than blah, blah, blah. Okay, I was like, well, you've been with him 21 years. I'm not saying it's easy to leave a marriage, but it's interesting that you leave the marriage while he's about to be sued and everything's being taken down and all the money's seem like false. It's like, that's where I can't get over that part, where this is definitely too interesting of timing. And that's where I keep going back to. I start to feel bad for her. And I'm like, okay, this could be real. Then I'm like, oh, well, this is interesting. You just decided to divorce him as he's about to be like arrested for whatever he's doing. Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. And I think Rinna says it really well, which I know we never say that about Rinna. But in her interview, she's like, she's very methodical. It's the best way to describe it. Like, she's extremely methodical. Everything she's doing sounds like it has a reason, sounds like it has a purpose, and that's why she's doing it. So that's kind of all the conversation with that. Well, it's just even interesting. So, like, I don't know at what point in the episode they did this flashback, but there was a flashback of her at the Tahoe trip. And it was her talking so highly of Tom. And I was like, wait, So I'm not saying you had to be mean about Tom because you didn't want them to know that you're getting a divorce, but did you have to like go above and beyond to like talk so highly of him?
Yeah, and I mean, at what point is the "this is justice Trisha A. Bigelow" thing gonna happen? I'm very
No,
curious.
yeah, you're
And
right.
I want that to be addressed for sure. Like, is it going to be like, okay, so he was having an affair? Like, what? They've never even asked that, and I found that interesting. It wasn't like, okay, like, no, there was no
Yeah.
cheating. So I feel
It's
like when people
just,
get divorced, that's like a normal question to ask. Like,
yeah.
like he messing around. So
I
yeah, I
don't
found
know.
that interesting.
It's hard. I need to see more.
I agree, and I think
And
we'll see a lot more.
I will say I am going back and forth. I'm never completely Team Erica, though. I don't think I'll ever be completely Team Erica. But I'm
Fair.
seeing like
A
glimpses of
little
like,
maybe,
okay,
and I feel like
okay.
it's hard to see a glimpse of like human sometimes because she's like such a computer. But you saw like a
Mm-hmm.
little glimpse of that with Erica.
Yeah, a little bit.
But then
And she
during
even cried. Wow.
she did cry. That was very interesting. During Kyle makeup, because they're like, what's going on with Erica makes our stuff seem so small. And another thing, flashback to Erica, and she's like, it was never my house in the first place living there. I'm the third wife that's lived there.
Okay,
Um,
see, wasn't the first season whenever she came on, they were like walking the property and she's like, I want this thing done. I want that thing done.
yeah, I remember
I
that.
put in the chapel. I did this. I was like, girl, if it wasn't your house, you felt really free to do whatever you want with
I
it.
wonder if she had any, because I'm obviously they had a prenup. I mean, he's a lawyer. He's not stupid. Well, he is stupid, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I wonder, like, I bet her name was never on the house or anything, though. Like, he basically just keeps rotating
Maybe
women
not.
every 20 years in there, so I highly doubt that.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
know. It just still doesn't make me necessarily feel bad for
no,
her. Like it's a shitty situation if you truly don't feel like your husband like loves you and treats you badly. But I feel like she seemed to be enjoying it all.
we'll see.
Lifestyle wise.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
only reason why she was there. So
So we'll see. That's what I say. I just need to know more because I just can't make a decision. Anyway, so
I agree. But with the next day, Garcella has like a dating coach over. And I would say the main thing that came out of that is that she really feels like she's so independent. And because her mom brought her to this country when she was young, and she's like, I've had a privilege to like work and, be successful. And I feel like I just can't rely on anyone, like in terms of a man being there for me. Because
hmm
like I'm the only one that's fully gonna have my back. So I found that interesting and she looks so beautiful in the scene. Like I loved her
oh
jumpsuit
yeah,
and like everything about her. There's just
she's
something
so
so warming.
cool.
Yeah, like there's
So
something so
cool.
cool about Garcelle. Like she just has such
hmm
a good like energy.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious.
I was like kind of thinking during the scene, it's always so interesting when we have two franchises at the same time and there's two parallel storylines.
That's what I
Because,
was thinking
back on
too.
Ebony and Sonia and then
Yes.
Garcelle.
I
So,
thought that too. It's funny you said that. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, it's weird whenever or when there's two murder mysteries, which we won't talk
yeah.
about because I know they're.
No, don't even do that to me.
But yeah, it is definitely interesting. But then we go and see Erica's new place with a stunning backyard, and she's just telling more of her story. Like after I found a place, I dropped Tom off at work and moved out like that day. Um, and the irony, well, she makes the comment. She said one time she went to dinner with him and a bunch of guys, and Tom made like a really crass comment and said, "If you think you can afford her, you can have her." Which I'm like, I don't think like that's that serious because I think like people joke like that all the time.
I see, I would have expected it to be in a joke. And if it wasn't, okay, that's
Yes.
shitty. But like,
Mhm. It's like
it
jokingly being
seems
like,
like a
"Oh, like
joke.
if you think you can afford her, like you can." I'm sure it was more like jokey. I feel like
Yeah.
she kind of twisted that one.
Yeah, because the guy was like obviously like messing with him because he's like, oh, well, you don't treat her well enough. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like, well, Tom was probably like, oh,
you
I'm gonna
think
come back at you, or something. I don't know.
exactly.
Dumb jokes, but like, is that really? I don't
But
know. I don't know.
exactly that's not a problem. This other stuff is. I found this next statement. This was like the moment of the episode for me. Erica in her interview says, "It's great to have this jacket. It's great to have a big house. It's great to drive a Lambo, yes. But at what human cost?" When she said
Ooh.
that, I was just like,
A
jaw
lot of humans cost actually.
exactly. I was like the human cost of like dead people and the human cost of people who are like severely injured and can't get their money. Like the
Mm,
fact that she said that, I was like, poor freaking word choice for sure. Like that was no. I was like, that was the moment of the
no,
episode. I was like, Erica, yeah.
not a good look. But also on top of this, I noted that they're showing like this house. It's still very, like you said, luxurious. Like it's small
Mm-hmm.
but like
I'd
beautiful.
happily live
It's
there.
in LA. Like obviously
Yeah.
it's so expensive. But I enjoyed that she was voicing like the voiceover was her struggle with Tom
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But as they're showing like unpacking a ton of like fancy clothes, all of her shoes. They're like racks and racks of things that cost probably over $1 million alone, like total. And she was talking about her struggle now. And I'm like,
And
it's just
like
her. Production is doing this to her.
Oh, they are for sure doing.
Because, you know, that was talked about way later. But the footage
like,
is from like a certain time, and then
why
they're
is
just like, let's voice it together.
Having all of these clothes, though, she never wears anything twice. Like, so she just basically keeps buying stuff and then rolling it around. Like, get on a website and start selling more. She doesn't wear any. I've never seen her in the same outfit ever. I've never even seen her.
No, at least not on camera. And I think that's like her whole like brand. It's like, I don't wear things twice.
Fashion, clothes, this and that. I think she has over $1 million in clothes and bags and shoes easily.
Oh, for sure. And you saw it because she was like, "Oh, my 2 guest rooms are shoe closet and clothing closet."
Ooh, and
it was just all on top of, or all laid with the voiceover. So I enjoyed that because it was like a little shady.
Very shady. They've done a lot of very shady and women.
I mean, I've enjoyed it. So.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. But then Kyle and Sutton, like, they go to like get a mammogram that Kyle made Sutton go do. And at the end of it, Kyle brings up the whole Krystal and Sutton stuff in Tahoe and says, you know, Krystal has told Dorit that she felt violated. And she's like, okay. Sutton's like, I'm going to nip this in the bud. Like, I'm going to handle this. This needs to be the end of this conversation. So Kyle's like, okay, we'll table that because we're going to get into it at the end. Rinna and Erika go for drinks, and Rinna mentions she's launching Rinna Beauty. Of course she is. And I thought this flashback was so interesting because she was talking about how like Tom is like so powerful, blah, blah, blah. He likes to like, you know, be in control of a room. And it flashes back to Tom talking over like Lisa Vanderpump and talking over Erika. And I'm surprised that Ken did not smack the shit out of Tom whenever he told Lisa to be quiet. I was like, I was waiting for Ken to just like I can't believe I forgot that. Like
I put that in my notes. I was like, this is a moment where I kind of was like, maybe Erika's not lying. Because that just reminded me that like maybe he is power hungry and obsessed.
He for sure is. That's all he cares about.
That's true. I mean, that's not a question because why would he do this whole scam if he wasn't like, you know, oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
The service
Where's
around
my
here?
Service. I have no service here. I'm like, I'm finished and it's just empty. Well, I'm not finished, but I'm almost finished and it's just sitting here. I'm gonna call my dog to bring me another drink. What if Paul just came in and poured my glass? If you guys are watching on YouTube, Chase was just handed a drink from a random, I'm gonna assume it's producer Joe's hand, into the shot. No, he's drinking his vodka.
No, it's great. I really am enjoying my vacation. This is vacation life, Cassidy.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, what the hell?
You're sweating your ass off back in Texas.
I'm like sweating my ass off with like no drink, like listening to my dog bark and the garbage go by, but that's my life. Anyways, Erika does say Tom's got a lot of things in store ahead for him. She clearly knows that something is about to go on. But Krystal's having one over to make dumplings. And like
I love that. They look so good.
They look so freaking good. I think I wrote down. Yeah, they look. I actually wrote down towards the end more. Whenever Kyle and Garcelle, when they finish making them, and they're just sitting down munching.
And Garcelle was like, "Me and Kyle can't stop eating." I was like, "That would be me."
They're like eating everything. I was like, "Us to a T."
I have to say, loved Erika's outfit in this scene.
So good. I actually have like a dress that's like that. It's like a zebra one.
Oh my God, you have to wear it. I was upset. I want that outfit. Just like,
but
I want like a short version and like the jean jacket version. You know what I mean?
And like the blazer style though, still, because I love that.
Yeah, I loved it.
You could do like a romper version and I'll get a dress version. Like
yes, exactly. But I was like, after all this, like, you know, going back and forth with Erika, I was like, gotta give her when it comes to this outfit though.
It is killer for sure.
And I was very shocked when she said clit.
Oh my God, yeah. She mentioned some oil that Kyle told her about. So she was like, I am like lit up right now. And I thought she meant she was drunk. But
I thought she was high, like just like her own self. Like I thought she did like a edible or something.
Like she was like feeling it. She took like
because we know like Mauricio loves himself a little marijuana.
True.
So I thought they like.
That's why they're experimenting though, Kyle
and
Mauricio, with the THC oil. And she said, everyone's like, okay, we want to get our hands on that. But Sutton and Krystal decide to have like a little conversation and they're like, all right, we're just going to let everything go. Like we're going to move forward. And then Sutton comes outside and she's like, I really want to say that I feel like I'm being like defamed by you. And like she starts going in on Krystal.
It was wild. So they literally just before
like
we're not talking about this anymore. We're done. Krystal's like, oh my God, yes. Like, sorry, people were asking me about it. So I told them, but like, I won't talk about it again. they go outside and she's like, Sutton's like, oh, by the way.
Sutton threw all of that out the window and was like, all right, I'm going to tell you everything that you've done that's pissed me off now. She's like, you keep telling people I'm manic. You keep telling people I'm crazy.
I kind of loved it because it was so unexpected. I was like, what?
I know. I really thought like they were going to let it go and they were going to be good. I mean, obviously we knew they were going to fight at some point in the future over the leather pants. But Krystal says in her interview, she's like, well, I think, no, she says, I'm going to believe you if you're telling me that you're not manic and crazy. And Sutton says in her interview, she's like, she is just a high school mean girl. Like, I know who she is. She's a mean girl. Kind of like talking under her breath. And I was like,
I just kind of love it because it's just like, it's truly a fight. Okay, yes, Krystal did feel uncomfortable. I'm not taking that away from her. But it's a fight that should have ended the second it started. And it's being dragged out, and it's so housewives. Where it was like, why are we still talking about this?
She's literally said, I'm going to drop it. Like, I'm going to let it go. Like, we're all good. Goes outside. And let me say one more thing. It's like, oh my God, like, this is never going to end. But that's pretty much, they go inside. They eat the dumplings that we already said looked amazing.
So jealous.
And the episode ends with Erika, like, talking. And she's like, there's just so much more that these women don't know. Dun dun dun.
I don't think we said enough of how like I'm not looking forward to RHOA Beauty. It's like, girl, Kylie Jenner's already done it. Bye.
And next week we are going to start discussing Scott Disick and Amelia Gray.
I love that. At this point, the Kardashians are too much of a household name to be like, do you know that she's dating this guy named Scott? I'm like, girl. Just say his name. Just say Scott. Like, we all know who Scott Disick is.
Anyone who watches reality TV and is paying attention to Housewives of Beverly Hills, it knows whether you watch Kardashians or not. You know who Scott.
I was gonna say you still know who he is.
Yeah, like.
So they're like, oh, this guy Scott. I was like, oh my god.
Exactly, and not looking forward to that one.
My audience agrees. Dumb.
Yeah, so dumb. But I think that's it for this week. It was a short one. Obviously, we didn't have.
I don't even think it was as short as we thought it was gonna be. Once we get talking, really, Cassidy.
I know, like what the that's us. Y'all know that.
It was planned to be short. I don't know how long we've been going because like we usually have a timer, but like since we're doing this, I don't have a timer.
I think we've been going for an hour. So not that short, basically. But there was a lot. I feel like it was good that New York took this week off, and that's why I intentionally did it because there was so much on Beverly Hills. So I think, like, because obviously there's random little breaks in season, and I really think that's why New York was off this week.
Yeah, and I think we enjoyed our hot takes this week too.
We did enjoy our hot takes. We had a bunch this week.
You know what? When we get, like I said, don't get us talking because we don't stop.
Don't get us talking because we never stop, and that's why we do a podcast. But I think it's time for Chase to finish spiel because I know he wants to.
So, guys, as I've said before, if you enjoy our podcast, take 5 seconds, head over, leave us a 5-star review. It's the only way, we see people appreciate it, like it, or enjoying.
We see each other.
We see each other when that happens, and it's appreciated. 5 stars, leave a comment, and we'll be here every week, and I'll be here every week doing the same spiel. So until you start doing it, I'm gonna keep doing it.
That's exactly, guys. Please give it. So don't hear Chase say this anymore. Exactly. Just kidding.
She looks forward to it secretly, but
I do. Really. That's why I bring it up. So, well, on that note, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time back in our clubhouse.
And again, don't listen to Cassie. If you see me tits out on the street, don't talk to me.
Make sure
I'm just kidding.
And send it to me at The Reality Wind Down on Instagram.
She'll post it on Instagram, so.
I will share.
There you go.
To that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to Chase shaking his tits this weekend. Bye.
Bye.